One of the biggest challenges in life is starting over, picking yourself back up, hitting reset, and getting to it again, especially when some of your decisions may have cost you. However, I want to tell you about someone that did that. Terrence McCrae, who served 25 years in prison, found a way toward a promising career, avoided recidivism, and rebuilt his life. Want to know how he did it? Pull up a chair and let me tell your story. My name is LeRon Barton. I'm a writer, author, and speaker. I've written about race, politics, being black in tech, stuttering, and the power of storytelling. And this is my Oxford Talk. Today I'm going to talk about how the technology industry can help the formerly incarcerated ease back into society, not with jobs, but careers. In America, there are over 2.1 million people currently locked up. 1.43 million people in federal and state prisons, and a little over 730,000 people sitting in city and county jails waiting to be released. 46% of all prisoners are serving sentences due to drug convictions, either by selling, possession, or offenses related to narcotics. Drugs are the main driver for the prison industrial complex. And of all those serving time, black men make up the largest percentage. We total about 745,000 of those incarcerated. That's more than all women incarcerated in India, the UK, and Canada, to name a few. Each year, about 600,000 people are released from prison and jail. 44% will return within the first year, 60% in 3 years, and 77% will reoffend and go back to confinement within 5 years. America is an incarceration nation, and it is a problem. Growing up in Kansas City, Missouri, South Side, going to prison was a way of life. You'll hear about, oh, what's his name? He came home from doing 10, or oh boy, just got locked up. He looking at least 5 years. It was enough for folks to get locked up, released, stay out for a minute, and get arrested again. It's a cycle, and that was partly because of the lack of opportunity due to systemic racism. Looking at my life years ago and what I was doing, getting arrested for petty shit, being on probation, or what we call being on paper, I'm lucky I didn't do any serious time. The thing about getting arrested, being on probation, and serving time is that once you're in the system, it's hard to get away from it. We used to call arrests that were inevitable catch-me's. Hanging out with someone who has a felony, that's a catch-me. Live in your old neighborhood that's crime infested, that's a catch-me. Traffic violation, that could be a catch-me. These type of violations are designed to keep the revolving door of people reoffending working. This is a system, not an individual choice. When we think about the offenses that lead people to being incarcerated, most of them are lifestyle crimes. Acts that folks commit to live day to day. Sometimes to feed a drug habit, sometimes to support a family. These are risks that men and women take because they're unable to find a job. These folks may not fit the culture of the firm, or people deem them as frightening. A lot of this has to do with race. When you've been locked out of a chance for a good life, one without struggle, you're gonna do what you gotta do to get where you got to get. Think about it. You're denied a job because you're black. You fit the qualifications, you aced the interview, but you can feel the hiring manager looking at you with fear or disgust. I and every other African American have been there. If the door has been slammed in your face over and over and over and over, pretty soon you're gonna say, fuck it. Fuck corporate America. You're gonna look at other options. Crime may be one. Taking is what we call penitentiary chances may be your only option. This is not an excuse, but an explanation. Angela Davis once said, prisons don't disappear social problems, they disappear people. And this is what we're dealing with. One of the biggest problems we have is that when people are released, the skills they take with them are outdated. What people are learning on the inside doesn't reflect the job market on the outside. In today's world, everything is becoming automated, driven by technology. The days of produce stockers, grocery store checkout clerks, and factory workers are becoming less by the day. Couriers are being phased out by robots. When I was in San Francisco, I saw a self-driving car drop a woman off. The world is changing, and we need to prepare those to come home to be able to adapt to that. This is why there needs to be an assist, a partnership between the tech industry and the prison system for the formerly incarcerated to acclimate into society and have a chance for a good life. 2 years ago, I wrote a piece for the Harvard Business Review titled, "What is DEI doing for the formerly incarcerated?" In the essay, I asked the question, why don't diversity, equity, and inclusion departments do more for people who are in prison? While writing the article, I got a chance to speak to Shelley Winter. She served 2.5 years in prison. After receiving training and certifications in PC and software products, Shelley is now a B2B sales rep. I recently met Justin Redrick, author and CEO. Justin spent 3 years inside and is now a cryptocurrency expert who teaches about the new technology at the Bitcoin Academy, a school co-founded by Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey at Twitter. These are two great examples of folks who served time and now have a career in the tech space. If we look at it strictly from a numbers aspect, right? It costs over $36,000 a year to house an inmate in most states. When we talk about homelessness, they are 10 times more likely to be homeless than someone who didn't serve time. Just think about how much money and resources we can have and save by having the formerly incarcerated represented in tech. When we view those who have been incarcerated, we often see them as the crime they committed, not the skills they gained. They gotta be violent. Can I trust them around the job? Will I be safe? All of these are ridiculous fears. Again, over 60% of those in prison are nonviolent offenders. Looking at job performance, those who have served time are more likely to stay at their position rather than job hop. Also, in an environment like prison, you learn to interact with many different types of people, different kinds of personalities. That can be a very valuable asset in an industry that changes quickly. The formerly incarcerated is an emerging workforce. Many jobs go unfilled, and they could be a resource for that. Because of this worker shortage, I believe in training while incarcerated can be a game changer. There can be coding and networking boot camps established in prison, which will create a funnel of workers with the skill sets to fill the vacant jobs. As I stated earlier, DEI also has a stake in this. If we want a fair and just workplace, then we need to advocate for those who have been incarcerated. Too many companies are not considering people who serve time for employment, and that needs to change. Years ago, I got a chance to visit San Quentin State Prison for a panel on education. When I spoke to the men there, two things popped in my mind. These guys are brilliant, and they're hungry for an opportunity. In America, we always talk about second chances, a person's second act in life. How about we extend that courtesy to those who've been locked up? If we're really about the second act, let's embody that and give those who made mistakes the chance to right them. One of my favorite books is The Great Gatsby. It's literally about a guy who was able to start anew and become a different person. The tech industry can help those who've been locked up get another chance at life with skills and careers that will be applicable in the future. Technology has always prided itself on being this great disruptor, right? Well, what's more disruptive than breaking the law and then hiring the people who have? I talked about Terrence McCray in the beginning. Well, he has his own networking show, the Close the Deal Show, has given a talk at Google, and continues to do great things in the tech space. Terrence, along with Shelley, Justin, and countless others, showed tech can be a great solution for reducing recidivism and making an impact on the betterment of society. Thank you.